As we drove up to the ferry terminal for a weekend away recently, had the van loaded, kids in the car, all the gear, I was a little bit thrown off because the line to get to the ticket booth to get onto the ferry was a little bit longer than I expected. And that wouldn't really be a big deal, except that my youngest has this thing right now where if our vehicle comes to a stop, she thinks that we've reached our destination and therefore she should be able to get out of her car seat. And when here we are on this somewhat busy road, there's actually cars going by in both directions, but we're in the line that's not moving. And she thinks she should be able to get out of her car seat. And we can't get her out of the car seat because we can't even get out of the car. It's not safe. And it was the next 15, 20 minutes of a screaming toddler. And it was a party. I mean, it was a good time. I'm sure you would have enjoyed it. And those that have young kids and have had young kids can totally probably relate with what we experienced. But as I was reflecting on this, that's when I really started to think, I'm going, man, I kind of do this too. Maybe not in the screaming sort of way, but I asked this question, are we there yet? Or when is this going to happen? When are we going to be there? And if I don't necessarily understand the answer, I get frustrated. I get annoyed. I don't act out maybe in the same way that a toddler does, but I do get frustrated. And I thought that was an interesting point. I wanted to delve into it a little bit more today. If we haven't met before, my name is Jason Alcott. I'm the author of the upcoming book, The Sewing Principle. Thanks for tuning in today. Love the opportunity to connect with you, and hopefully you'll find these videos uplifting and encouraging. That is their goal, to uplift and encourage others. And if you get the opportunity to share this so that it could uplift and encourage others as well, we'd appreciate that. Thank you. So I reflected on this situation with my daughter as I was kind of thinking about what to talk about this week, and I was also finishing some final edits for my book. And in that, I talk about this idea of the question of when. When are we going to be there? When are we going to get there? When is this going to happen in my life? And it's kind of like the adult version of asking that question, are we there yet? Which my older daughter has started to do now when we're driving, get in the car. It's are we there yet? I'm like, no, we've just left the driveway. We definitely have some time in the car to go. And I relay in the book, and what I say in the book is that I think when is not actually a very good question. We're told as children there's no such thing as a bad question. I think when you're an adult, that's not true. I think there are bad questions, things you can't ask. And I don't think that when is a very good question, because when I ask when is this going to happen for me, Lord, or when are these blessings going to come into place, then I'm actually operating from a place of lack. My perspective is I'm in this situation, but I want to be in another situation. And so I'm very focused on a destination, and a destination that have not arrived at yet. And it's taking me out of the present moment. So I'm immediately not experiencing, joy in that moment. But also being focused on something that is sort of a destination down the road, that some things are going to be within my control as to when that comes to pass, and some things are not. And so as I kind of flesh this out in the book, it kind of made me think, and I'm like, how else can we look at this? Because when is so much of a destination, a focused question, and so often life is about the journey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about what we go through. When I think about these times when I'm asking that question of when, and I'm sort of operating out of a place of lack, one of the best examples that I can think of is as I was younger, and sort of that question that we have as young people of, well, when will I be married? And what I find is that I'm actually very destination focused when I ask that question. I'm looking very specifically at a specific moment in time. So in the case of marriage, it's the sort of the wedding day, honeymoon, like when am I going to reach that destination of being married? Now, for those of you that are married or engaged or will be married, which should cover the majority of people, some that aren't going to be married, but if you are, you understand that marriage is not about the wedding day. It's about the adventure, the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the adventure that happens in marriage, and not just the wedding day. Our marriage is not defined by an incredible wedding day. The wedding day can be amazing, marriage certificate on the wall, but it does not necessarily mean that you're going to have a successful marriage. Successful marriage is built over time, which all of us are continuing to learn. The ups and downs and funds of it all. So we kind of enter into this focused on a destination, but what I actually need to be focused on so much more, what's more important to actually being successful in that space, in the space of marriage is the best example, is that what happens in the daily. What do we do daily? How are we communicating daily? And all the things that I'm learning about and continuing to learn about. My wife and I are continuing to learn about. And it's this incredible adventure because I have my best friend who runs in life with me. We have, similar goals and purpose, and we're running through life together. But it wasn't really what I was focused on when I was just asking the question of when am I going to be married? I really wanted to get to that destination. So I'd like to propose that when you find yourself asking that question when, and you'll know, when you're asking yourself that question of when is this going to happen for me, or when is X, Y, Z, pause, because you recognize that emotion, recognize the feeling around it, recognize that it's probably not a positive emotion. And I find it for myself, it's helpful if I look at it and I go, okay, so why am I so focused on this destination? That's the first thing I want to kind of identify. Why am I so focused on this destination? What happens after it? And am I doing the things that are necessary to actually move me towards it in a positive way on a daily basis? So if it's moving towards being married, am I actively in the process of becoming the person who's going to attract the type of person that God wants me to be with? That's a big part of my book, big part of my story is, recognizing that the person that I wanted to marry, the woman that I was looking to marry, wasn't going to marry the man that I was X number of years ago. I needed to step up. I needed to improve my game. I needed to take daily steps to improve my relationship with Christ and become a man of integrity and ethics. And by far from perfect, long road to go. But I recognized that I needed to take daily steps, if I was going to ever achieve that goal. And it's the same way in sort of anything that we're producing. So what are we doing daily? And then also thinking a little further, I'm trying to pause, and when I recognize the destination, so what happens when I hit that point? Then what will come after? And put some thought into that. What happens after you achieve that goal? What happens after you finish the marathon? Are you just going to stop and eat everything that's available to you, stop working out? You're not, right? You've become a healthy person. It's your identity. But we get focused on this destination. And so, the amazing part about it is when I think about this, and I think, man, it's incredible. But some of the best and incredible parts of our stories happen after we reach the destination. If you think about it, once we get married, then there's this sort of incredible life that's available to you, or at least it can be, right? Being married and in relationship with someone and having that friendship and having someone alongside you to run and do life with, it's incredible. The incredible stories that happen after we reach the so-called destination. Make sure that you're aware of that, not losing focus of that, and make sure that you're kind of keeping your eyes open for all the incredible blessings that are happening both on the journey to the destination and that are definitely going to be there on the journey after you've reached said destination. So we had an absolutely amazing weekend away. It turned into just incredible, beautiful weather, time on the water, great time with family, because there was a destination of sort of getting through that ticket booth for my toddler, and the screaming came to an end, thank goodness. But it really led to an absolutely amazing weekend, and I find that's often the case. So I hope you absolutely have a blessed week. Have a great week. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.